Welcome to Degreez of Separation, a podcast where we journey to learn how we are connected and who we are connected to.
It gives us at least a glimpse of how connected we all are.
From entrepreneurs and small business owners to difference makers and thought leaders throughout our communities. This is Degreez of Separation with Joshua Peacock and Daryl DJ Sales.
What it is, what it do, man. We back up in this thing one more time, man. It's your host, Joshua Peacock.
And your boy Daryl DJ Sales.
Man, we got a very good one set for you today, man. We got two gentlemen come to join us with information that is vital to the community, vital to success and life. Oh man, we have none other than Donnell, Nunn, and Glenn Jones.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Now that ain't the Glenn Jones that's gonna be in Orlando, gonna be hitting them too.
Yes, sir. Different Glenn Jones.
Yes.
Man, we have two gentlemen that are in the insurance industry, and they come to give us information on not just life insurance, because everybody knows about life insurance. That's the most popular one. You know, you have two types of life insurance that's popular, you know, term life and whole life. They'll break all that stuff down, but it's many more types of insurance that they have to offer. But before we go there, here at Degreez of Separation, we like to see how we're connected, how we got connected. Maybe you have a story. No, I'm gonna call you Nunn. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, I know you probably used to that, but
Yes, sir.
just like they call me Peacock, you know.
That's right.
It's a bunch of us, you know, but
Uh-huh.
you know when they call that name, you know who they talking to. But
That's right.
maybe you have a story, but I can remember back, you know, it's been a while now, man. You know, fellow churches, you
Yes,
know, sister
sir.
churches, fellowshipping together,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, your older brother, right?
Who? My older brother?
Yeah, Danny.
Well, we're actually not brothers, but
Okay.
we're sure probably related somewhere down the line. The name
Okay,
is exactly the same
I know you probably get that all throughout the yeah,
all
'cause
the time.
that's crazy, man. That two
All the
people
time.
under the same ministry with the same last name, but not brothers. That's
Mhm.
crazy. I never knew that, man. I always thought y'all was related somehow.
And he's actually went on to become a pastor now.
Right,
So
right. Pastor,
yeah.
Nunn. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh man, but yeah, remembering just years down the road, man, it's probably been like
Yes.
12 to 15 years, man.
At least.
Yes,
At
sir.
least.
Yes, sir.
Because our pastors would always fellowship with one another. And I don't know if you know it, but even before then, when we were fellowshipping with churches on the football field.
Okay.
Now I'm not exactly sure what year you are, but I know it was one of them Peacock boys we had to deal with on that field. It's like, hey man, don't let it get loose because he
Yes,
gone.
sir. It was probably my little brother. I graduated in 04 from high school.
I did as well. So it was
Okay,
you.
so it was me. It was me on defense and my older brother on offense. Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Which schools you went to?
I went to Westport.
Oh yeah, we drug y'all, man. Yeah.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
You say we drug.
Yes, sir. We drug y'all. But hey, man, we drug a lot of people that year. But that, yeah, we've been.
Y'all eased by. Y'all eased by.
Yes, sir. Well, we've been acquaintances for quite some time.
A long
We're
time.
going back close to 20, 25 years now.
Number 20, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. But so just throughout the years, we've always been acquainted. Never had like an extensive relationship, but known each other. Spoke. Fellowshiped in church and things of that sort. And but I saw you posted online, advertising the services that you have, and I said, "That's my man right there.
Yes,
That's
sir.
my man right
Yes,
there."
sir.
He's the one that I've been looking for because, like I said, you guys have a service that is very vital to the community. And so, how are you connected to Glenn, Mr. Jones?
This giant mentor of mine, he actually came to my church and did a seminar to Raymond. And
Okay.
it's I'm just telling you the impact that he had. Me and my wife were out of town when he did the seminar, but the church was just so impressed and kept talking about it that when we got back and heard, say, wow, we might need to have a talk with Mr. Glenn Jones. And we did that, and we were able to hear him tell us the way that we can set up our family to have generational wealth, to have coverage for the things that we needed. And so it started with a business relationship, as in uh, me and my wife getting insurance for our family.
Yes, sir.
But as things progressed, it turned into my new career. And he's been there every step of the way, uh, guiding me and trying to uh, pour that 20 years worth of knowledge that he has into me. So I'm just trying to be a sponge and soak it all up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Jones, how did you get started in insurance?
Um, well, it happened in a time when the economy was really bad, and I was a general manager and an area field manager for U-Haul for 10 to 12 years, and they ended up terminating me right in that time.
Wow.
I was like the top in the field for them, and it came to an end. 2 years prior to that, a lady had came after I bought my house, had said, um, "You need to get life insurance to cover should you die, your family have enough money to pay off the house." And so we started talking about it, and she was telling me, "Hey, insurance, you would be good in this because you have the right personality. You deal with a lot of customers." And I say, "Well, I don't know." But technically, I had been in a prayer, telling the Lord in prayer, "I'm tired of U-Haul. I'm tired of U-Haul." So I wasn't trying to get fired, but that's what it ended up
Yes,
ended
sir.
up happening. And just amazed me. But that termination came, and I had to find something. So I went out to the insurance license, got my insurance license, and from there, began the journey into insurance in 2002.
Okay. Yes, sir. So you just kind of stumbled upon this thing, huh?
Yeah, I did. Just trying to find out, well, I couldn't find any other job right there to immediately replace the income I was generating. The only type of thing that seemed to be open that demonstrated that there was a potential to earn the type of income I was earning as an area field manager with U-Haul was the insurance sales. So I say, hey, why not? I'm customer service. Someone said I'd be good. Let me see what this is all about. And when they told me some of the dynamics of it and how it's paid and everything, I'm like, whoa, I wish I'd have known this when I was coming out of high school or coming out of college.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
Right. So what are the financial benefits of being in the insurance industry? What does that look like? Now we ain't trying to count your pockets, but for someone that's trying to get into it, what do they have to look forward to
What could they
financially?
expect?
What can they expect? Yes, sir.
What can they expect? Well, I would say that that's a very good question, Elder Joshua. Um, we had not been made aware in our community the value that insurance brings to
That's
families.
right.
We've had a very um, indirect relationship with it where we thought that insurance would only be something to cover someone if they die. But it's actually from what I would say the vanilla people who've had the very great value of insurance, where they saw no, it was an asset class, a way to accumulate money tax free.
Yes.
So my thing is that I wish someone had grabbed me when I was, coming out of high school and showed me the system and the process of what you value you bring and security you bring and peace of mind you bring to families, that you can have an entrepreneurial position where no one could thumb you down, no one could hold you back and say, "Hey, brother, you little chocolate brother, you're too smart for your britches. You're trying to exceed my position, or you're trying to take my job because you're doing such a good job and a great job." You don't have those threats in the insurance because you can control your success. No one controls your success, and I love ownership. So it's really something for I think men and women who love ownership, and that's not, I kind of get that from the word, Daryl, that
Yes.
God told us to possess the land. That's ownership.
Yes.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
it gave us that autonomy to have ownership of what I do, my work, my effort, and the value that I can bring to our community. So that's what excited me, and I think that's what's really popping about insurance.
Right. Right. Now,
So,
go ahead,
okay.
DJ.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah. Somewhat.
Okay.
Somewhat. You answered it, but more so with you on the sales side.
Okay.
How is that set up towards you benefiting? Because I mean, we all want to benefit. We all want to receive something from what we give out. If I wanted to go into insurance, and I'm pretty sure it's something, it's nothing to sneeze at, because my brother Donnell, he's into it. He has a family. He has children. He has a wife that he has to take care of, and I'm pretty sure it has to be something that is sufficient for
Well,
him to take care.
let's take the gloves off and let's get real to the real now.
Yes, sir.
If I'm here, and I want to make sure I understand your question. You can, how much money can you make in insurance?
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
it.
sir.
That's
Let's
it.
make it plain.
Yes, sir.
Well, I found out the reason why I wish I had been introduced to it, because it's for the least amount of investment in education that you can earn six-figure or greater in the first year.
Wow.
You can make six figures in this if you had the school and the education of how this system and this program work. You can be a six-figure person, um, six-figure money. Well, you can go to college with 8 years and have a PhD, and there are PhD people who are just getting 60, 70,
Right.
$80,000,
Right.
Right.
and a whole lot of debt
Yes.
To go
trails
along
to
with
do
it.
that.
Yes,
But
sir.
to
Yes.
get your license, your investment may be $300, and now you have the opportunity to six-figure really in your first year or your
Right.
second year, and
Right.
it's up to you how hard
So,
you want to grind.
is it so? To get started, it's all it takes is $300 to get your license. What does it go? What goes into getting your license?
First thing you do, you sign up for a class.
Class.
You take the class. It's a 40-hour class in class and 20 hours online, or you can do it all online. You pass that test, then you take the state exam. You get your fingerprinting done. You get your license. We contract and we start training you. The books say, "Hey, your license is sale," but it ain't the edification and the education you need to sell. Okay,
Yes.
and we've changed from selling to providing solutions.
Mhm.
Because if
Ah,
you sell something to someone and you think I got to sell you, I don't have to sell you anything. But if I can provide a solution for a problem that everyone wise and got good sense and some money does, then you want to do the same thing. Then you provide solutions rather than sell, and it's a whole different atmosphere.
right. Right.
Right.
So
And
let's get back to your question. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
So typically, can you make money in it? We said six figure, and I'm gonna make it simple so plain that a fool can't misunderstand it. Okay. Well, on an average, we're thinking about going to get a job. We've been trained from high school to college to get a job, right?
Yes, sir.
And we expect to make, what's the highest count of pay per hour you feel is you really want to make on a job? Give me a number.
You really want to,
Yeah.
or what's
If you
realistic?
let's just say if you came out with a 4-year degree for college, how much per hour do you feel you should be making?
At least $30 an hour.
At least $30 an hour.
Yeah, I was gonna go for about 25 to 28.
Okay.
I mean, that's
All righty.
realistic.
25 to 28. So if I pull up my calculator, right? I pulled
Yes.
up a calculator here, and I'm just checking this out. 25 times 40
It ain't gonna be.
is
You're looking at
1,000
about
times 52.
$40,000. Yeah.
That's $52,000 a year coming out of college,
It is.
right? And if you get a raise, that might be 50 cents to a dollar, right?
Yes. Yeah.
maybe,
I don't think it's a dollar, but
maybe,
give it that.
hey,
Okay.
maybe.
So
Yeah.
so $25 an hour.
Yes, sir.
Well, in insurance, you have the opportunity to make 200, 300, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 in 1 hour,
Based on the
Correct.
policy
based on the policy or the solution
solution.
to a problem that everyone's gonna face and should
Yes.
have. Okay,
Yes.
so all I have to do is increase per hour how many times I make 200, 300, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 15 and
Yes.
20,000 an hour. And when you do the math of that, why would I want a job?
Right.
Make that make sense to me.
Yes,
Because
sir.
an example, let's look at it just from a low end. A low policy, you may make $300, right?
Mhm.
And you sold 3 of those, and the industry said you should sell 3 to 4 of those a week.
A
So
week.
I'm gonna multiply that times 4. Obviously, that's $1,200. But now I'm gonna multiply that times 52 weeks. That's 62,400. Okay. So if you come back and say in cases, let's say you sold and you made $800 times 3, you did 3 sales that week, 2,400, and you did that 52 weeks in a year. You got $124,800. Now it only took you an hour to make that $800.
Right.
Why do I want to make $25 to $30 an hour? Make it make sense to me. All I
Right.
need is 1 sale and or 2 sales or 3 sales. I done made more
Double.
than what those people don't put in 80 hours in a month.
Right.
Hello, breaker, come on.
Yes, sir.
So I love that freedom. The thing is, Elder Joshua, people they have programmed us by sight, like we walk by faith and by not by sight, but by sight. We found security and grew up learning at seed time and harvest that you get a job and that's security
It's
with
guaranteed.
benefits. So that's all you know because you've been programmed to get a job. That's what they had. That's indicative. I'm a bit radical, so please don't get mad at me. That's indicative to being back to some degree, back on the slave farm,
Plantation.
Plantation.
on the
Yes,
Plantation.
sir.
plantation, right? We made 10 cents a barrel, and the master made $2, but $2 back then was a lot of money.
Yes, sir.
10 cents. I remember, hey, 10 cents when I was growing up, you go down to the store, you get a lot of candies and sodas for 10 cents. So what's equivalent to now, well, if you make $35, consider that 35 cents till I made $800. Which do you want to make?
Right. Right.
You got the same 40 hours and you got the same thing. You got to do a job and do a work. But this one, I give it to you, make it plain from a scripture. There was the parable in the Bible where this man owned the business, right? And he hired one man to work all day.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then one man came in the last hour.
Yes,
Yep.
The
sir.
man came in the last hour,
Made the same
made
thing.
what the man worked 8 hours
Yeah,
made.
right,
Yes, he
right.
did.
That ninja was livid. He got mad and like, how can you pay him what I? Hey, it's the contract
And he says you
that
Yes,
agree.
sir.
you had.
Yep.
That's what you
You
agreed
agreed.
upon.
You agree.
You agreed to the contract where you're gonna work all day for
Three.
800, and he got a
Right.
contract which was a
Right.
salesman contract where he made 800 in 1 hour.
Right, right, right.
So why did I want to work all day when there's contracts available that I could have gotten where I made the $800 an hour, and that's an insurance, that's a sale.
Right.
And at the end of the day, Joshua, in America to this day, the highest paid industries year after year is sales and communication,
Hmm.
radio and sports, but sales. Sales are the highest paid.
Yes, sir.
Hello? So if that's the highest paid, not the doctors, not the lawyers, but sales and communication, why am I still thinking about a job is security?
Yes, sir. DJ, you got the perfect last name, man. What you doing, man?
DJ
That's funny too, man. I used to be in sales and I loved it, but you know,
It's something that I've always wanted to get into.
Mhm.
Um, just never pulled the trigger. But with what you're providing, the information providing, man, you make me want to, jump. I make pretty good money doing what I do, but it's something that is I've always wanted to get into sales for some reason. I've had the desire. I like to talk to people. I like to have that conversation. I like to bring, like you said, a solution to a problem, which a problem we all have. Now, Mr. Nunn,
Mhm.
what is your tactic with providing these solutions? Do you let them come to you? Do you go out and try to find the solution, provide the solution, or is it a mixture of both?
it's it's going to be a mixture in especially in today's society with social media and being able to reach so many people with minimal effort, as Mr. Jones with the example he just gave, the guy coming in with an hour, he gave minimal effort but he was
Right.
still able to maximize his profit. So
yes,
with things like social media, there's so many ways
Right.
to reach people. So now one of the things that Mr. Jones has been saying is that this industry, there's an opportunity, or you notice he kept saying you can make. So this is one of the true industries that, even though it's cliche, it it gives what you make of it.
Right.
So the and Mr. Jones, the word he likes is activity. So the activities that you do are going to determine how much you make. So the activities, some people are just going to know, hey, that's the insurance guy. And that's what you want them to do. When they see you walking by, like, hey, that's the insurance guy. So they're going to say, oh, hey, I wanted to talk to you about insurance. That's the one that
yeah,
come to you. But at the same time, there are going to be some things that we in the industry have to do to get in front of people so that in that instance, we're going to get them,
Right.
and there's it's about relationships and building that trust with people, that I'm not just trying to sell you something. So I'm trying to educate you on something that you probably didn't know about.
Right.
And as I educate you, I also offer you the solution that you didn't know you needed.
Yes.
So because I'm educating you and pouring into you in a genuine way, you say, wow, I didn't even know I had that problem. So then I say, oh, you know what? I have a solution for that problem.
Yes.
And there's the conversation. So, like I say, all that to say, in today's time, it's a little bit of both. You get in front of people and you go get them, but at the same time, you can be walking down the street or walking through Walmart, and sometimes they just come to you. So, we just have to do our best to be ready whenever and whichever way it comes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. DJ, I want to give you an opportunity to get in there, man. I know you got some questions.
yeah. I did have a question. I wanted to know. So, the startup, what can one expect? When starting up. If there's like any I guess like hard spots. Like if you guys experienced any hard spots, or any lackluster areas where you were like, man, it's not looking too well, but I'm gonna keep pursuing.
Oh, let me tell you my story, brother. Yeah.
Yes.
When I say you got to have that grind, that giddy up, and your giddy
Yes.
up, yeah, you really have to. It just doesn't jump out at you as Donnell was expressing that, and as you may already know, you have to know the market that you're going after.
Right.
Um, there's a learning curve in this thing that when I first started, I'm just trying to sell it to anyone and everyone. And it took me years to figure out, no, everybody is not my customer. And I was tracking after the wrong people, and broke minded people. Let me tell you, the poor is always among us. Jesus wasn't
Oh,
lying when he
Yes.
said it. And that that mindset, you realize you're talking to some poor ninjas every now and again, and you can't fix poor in their thinking. They're stuck like Chuck. So you have to get into a different audience that has, a high grade of understanding or
Yes.
willing to be teachable. And we know that if you're not teachable, how can you help a brother, right?
That's
Right.
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 So So those are the tough spots. Us getting in this industry, for us, the downside is that we grew up seeing the vanilla brother come through the neighborhood and selling us insurance. So we ran into this wall where our community is baptized in just that, hey, you trust them because when it comes to insurance agency, they're the only ones that have them. We don't have them in our community, right? So it's easy to trust them. And if we come in, well, there's a stigmatism. Why should I trust you? Anything relative to money? It's an unconscionable thing that through TV and everything that when it comes to certain areas of life, doctors, lawyers, and insurance and financial, you don't trust brothers. So those are some of the things I think you run into some oppositions that is not so hard. Sometimes it's just hard from our own people to get away from like not wanting to trust us. But when you still go forward with the education and pride them, and that's what we pride ourselves on. We don't need to sell you anything. We educate you and show you what they never showed you and help you make an informed and educated decision, but help you determine what you need, how much you need,
That's
and
right.
why you need it, and then how you can use it strategically at your advantage so it's not a loss to you. And the only benefit is when you transition, there's a benefit now because you're accumulating cash. I'm getting excited that preacher anointing trying to kick in,
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
hear
gonna
you.
hold back. Did I answer your
Voice,
question?
voice changing.
No, yes,
I
yes,
have to dial it back.
yes, you did answer the question. And also what I want to say is so there is a to a certain extent a core market, demographic, that is, you know.
Right.
Mhm.
You want to
And
go. You want to know the markets you're going after, and typically, there's individuals and families that most people start. Your natural market is people who you know, but then you want to upgrade beyond that market to business professionals, investors, and that's where you really want to find where you can control successive six-figure income very easily in the business.
yes, and I think that overall, also, if I may add, in our community, I think that we're becoming more and more wiser, concerning, financial literacy, and how to not only I guess save money, but also how to invest it. Because in my opinion, this for me, life insurance, and I'm sure you guys are gonna go into the other types of insurance, but for me, life insurance isn't even my like plan A. That's like my, hey, look, if I do go like from the other side, I expect y'all to be, investing this money, and I want y'all to actually, make good to, or make good use of my sacrifice, that I made, because it wasn't, well, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily hard, but it still is a sacrifice. And I think that overall, in our community, like, we're becoming more and more wise when it comes to investing, not just in life insurance, but like, IRAs, and future I guess future stocks, or what would they be called? Not risky stocks,
Mutual
but
funds.
yeah, mutual funds and stable, stable stocks. But my bad,
Well, I feel you 100, and I
Right.
tell you this here because I'm gonna throw this at you, and again, it's because I'm a preacher and I care about preachers. I love
yes.
preachers, man. I love our brothers and our sisters in Christ who preach the word of God.
Amen.
Um, Education is so paramount right now because you heard of the what is the AME, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
AME Church. They're
yes,
pastors in the Southern District or in the Southern in Florida. What happened, and I'm just trying to give you a little pushback on something you just said,
yes,
because we've been programmed into way to think about stocks and investment. 401k is attached to the market, as you understand, yes?
yes,
Yes.
Well, the AME pastors had 120 million in 401k, which is in the market.
yes.
You wouldn't imagine that this year it lost 90 million.
Wow.
90 million.
A lot of people in '08 lost their entire 401k
or
Wait,
lost the entire
so
401k. But these pastors this year, this is
this
current.
year.
You can Google it. They
wow,
lost 90 million. They are so mad that they lost 90 million. You
That's
know,
two thirds.
it would take 130% rise in the market to gain it all back the next year when the market has an average over 10 to 12% consistently in 10 years. So how you going to get it back? They're not going to get it back.
right.
Why did I say this and tell you this? Because we are programmed to think that we should be investing in the market first. That's not your plan. Like life insurance is not your plan A, but
Mhm.
being in the market may be your plan A where you can risk losing it all. But why
Yes,
would you risk losing it all if you have no foundation? Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest men in the world, says the number one rule is to
Never
never
lose
lose
money.
money. Rule number one. What was rule number two? Never lose money. Remember rule number one. So before what Warren Buffett does, let me calm it down again. That preacher's coming. It
Hey
just
man, you get me hyped, man.
man, go on and drop gems, man. Go on ahead.
okay. He says you never lose money. He never invests his principal. He keeps his principal safe, and his
Yes,
gains and his profit he puts in the market.
wow,
So how Ninja gonna be told and made to think that I should go in the market first
right.
when there are books that they say the best way to keep a secret from the brothers is to put it in a
Put
book.
in the book.
And
Yes,
in the books, J.C. Penney, Wells Fargo, Bank
Yes.
of America,
Walt Disney.
Walt Disney World, McDonald's, the first thing they put the money in is whole life, participate in
Insurance.
whole life policy, where they never lost money between 2008 when the market crashed up to 2019. The whole life policy was paying about 3% in guaranteed interest and 6% in dividends. That's 9%,
All
and
right.
never lost a dime.
Before we get
and
too
the
far
rate
in this
was
conversation,
fixed.
let's take a break and we're gonna come back and we're gonna discuss whole life and term life.
And
We'll
the
be
rate
right
was
back.
fixed. No, I'm
We'll
just
be
saying.
right back.
I gotta
Degrees of separation, connecting to the source.
If you want to represent your faith with your fashion, go to gospelgains.com. If you want to show your salvation on your sleeve, gospelgains.com. GOSPELGAINS. Type in the word Degreez at checkout. You'll get a 15% discount on your entire purchase. All right, we back, man. This conversation is heating up. This conversation is getting really, really good, man. Uh, Again, we thank you, brother Nunn and brother Jones. Man, we you dropping some gems on us. We finna open it up, man. All right, we got term life and we got whole life. What is the difference, and which one would you recommend, and what situation would you recommend the other if you would?
Term life has a purpose.
Hmm.
It's a temporary policy.
Yes.
It's primarily put in place when you buy a house and you're raising a family. It is the least expensive way to cover all your risk. The house, income replacement, sending children to school, because if you die, mama needs to be able to keep that house and finish sending those children to school and replace your income. But in our community, we haven't been thinking like that, and we didn't get the proper amount. But it is a temporary program for a guaranteed event. And what
True.
we've been screaming is we've been massaged by the council of so many agencies out there, Primerica, World Financial Group, Edward Jones, great companies, say nothing bad about them. But we've been persuaded that we should buy term and invest the rest, a temporary policy. I think having some insurance, like a term, is better than having
Better.
none at all.
That's correct.
Okay. And if that's where your start is, then yes and amen. Plus, you get group term on the job, but they have no cash accumulation. The only value and benefit of a term, someone must die in order for somebody to get paid.
Okay.
Well, our thinking has been from brother to brother is like, yeah, I want to leave something, but I need some. Am I
Right.
right or wrong?
You're right.
Yes.
That's right.
I need something from in my pockets. So we haven't been excited about that. And you notice in life when we're hearing these things when there is police violence, these people who die typically may have just enough to bury them and
Right.
or nothing at all.
Right.
But
Right.
had they had
Nothing.
a glorious $500,000 policy or $1 million policy where it only costs you in your younger age maybe $20 or $30 a month,
Right.
then that would give families empowerment to sustain themselves. They wouldn't have to go fight in the street. They can fight in the courts. I'm just
Right.
throwing the secret out there. If you're not properly insured and have a $500,000 or $1 million, you need to get that on you. And term is a very affordable way to do that. And it's a peace of mind policy for your family that if you, God forbid, ended up with a knee on the neck, you leave your family with some power. Called
Yes.
money is
Right.
what?
Power.
Power.
Power to
Man,
fight.
sure.
So that's term. No cash value. The only benefit is with your transition. You can't keep it. So all the premiums you pay into it at the end of the term goes away and you have to start over if you qualify.
That's right.
Right. And
Which
so
is
how long would term usually go?
typically the term policies last, you can get them 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or 30 years. At one point, I even saw some for 40 years. But at the end of the day, their term, the payment blows up at the end where it's not affordable to keep it. So you're going to drop it and you have to start over. But by that time, you have missed the window. Your age has changed. Your health may have changed. And it's harder to
You
qualify
may not
when you
qualify.
should have bought the whole life. So what's the unique value of the whole life? When they're telling you not to buy whole life, I feel like it's a discredit to the African American community because we have not obeyed God and said a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children
Amen.
and creates wealth, store it up like the ants.
Mm-hmm.
A whole life is really a glorified savings account,
That's
right?
right.
That has a death benefit attached to it that accumulates cash that you can become Deuteronomy 28:12.
Come
You
on.
can become the lender and
Lender.
not the
And not the
borrower.
borrower.
Come on.
Yes.
Now,
Come
who
on.
Yes.
told us to do that?
That's
God.
word, Doc.
God. Deuteronomy 20, you shall become the lender, not the borrower. But no one showed us how to do it. A whole life is a safe uh, safety net of money where you can accumulate
Accumulation.
cash, earn interest and dividends, and have a death benefit, and pay no taxes, and have no risk of loss. If I was preaching, I would say, shout yes right there.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Because you preaching. Because you
Yes,
preaching.
sir.
Because
Yes.
it's so this is where like you named all those
Wow.
companies and all these different families in America that are many times over billionaires and trillionaire companies that have utilized this system to gain that generational wealth that
Yes.
they have.
That's right.
Yes.
And it's been held from us for far too long to where like when you explain it, it's like, man, ain't no way in the world that's good. That's what you saying is true, because it seems so far stretched. You know what I
Well,
mean?
As I said earlier, their ice ain't colder than our ice
come
because
on.
ice is ice.
Right,
But sometimes I had a sister tell me, she was an intelligent sister. They have, because they've owned the industry for so long, we don't even require as much to believe them if they said exactly what I just said.
right,
Why would you want to believe me? With them, they don't have to do no, you don't have to do no research. He's saying it. It's acceptable.
right,
You see what I'm saying? It's just we perish for lack of knowledge. But we're not only perishing for lack of knowledge, we're perishing because we're rejecting the donkey that's trying to tell us there's a snake in the way, ninja.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yes.
trying to help you. I've been good to you. I've been doing everything. I'm on your side.
Right.
right.
But I'm telling you, and now you hitting me across the head. Look, I'm trying to protect you. So, am I making sense? I'm trying to make it relative to the word because I'm in the word, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
That, look, you want to hit the donkey that's telling you it happened to be a black donkey. Most donkeys are black, aren't they?
Yes, a brown, black or brown. I haven't seen it in white.
Brown, black. You might
So
get you
you
a little
want
albino.
so so
Get a little
so the
albino.
backlash is that the message is true because it's by the mouth, it's by the law, it's by the policy. And
That's
this
right.
is sometimes when, Daryl, you were saying, what are some of the downfalls in starting up and being in the industry? And I'm telling you, we're with this black executive who's running Ohio National, a major Fortune 500 insurance company, told us that, our community is uninformed and undereducated and have been sold the wrong policy because we've just listened to Vanilla say, hey, just get this. We didn't do no math. But we come here and say, look, we're going to show you the math. I know you a buy called Donnell is anointed and he's cool, good looking guy. I'm anointed, I'm cool, good looking guy. But you don't buy it because of that, bro. You buy it because the math. It's
Yeah.
them
Math
numbers,
add
them
up.
digits add up.
Yes.
And 1 plus 1 and 2 times 2. It's when the math shows you this is why you do this. And that's how they bought it. And that's how we're educating our community to create wealth now while you're living and make you the lender and not the borrower.
Yes, sir.
Once again, I'm shouting hallelujah.
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 Mr. Nunn, with you being a younger man, we still a little young, man. We still
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah.
he ain't old, but
Yeah.
on the younger side of the game,
Yeah.
have you when you talk to people in your peer group, do you find more resistance from the younger people that you try to provide a solution to?
Mm, I would say it's still across the board. In my experiences so far, um, it's it's just a mindset that has been drilled in us for so long that, like I say, I ain't leaving them nothing to fight over when I'm gone. I'm gonna try to spend as much as I can with whatever it is
Right,
I have,
right,
and it's gonna have to take a real effort and a real mindset change on behalf of somebody. Somebody in that family is gonna have to say, you know what, I'm not gonna just leave them hanging. I'm gonna be the one to start it. And I will start this generational wealth from me. Yeah, maybe mama did and the grandmama, grandpa, maybe they didn't do it for me, but it's going to take somebody in that family that's going to say, you know what, there's better and I have access to it.
right.
Yes.
So, that analogy that Mr. Jones made earlier about why would I work this much when I can work this much and make this much, it's the same concept with insurance in itself. If I have access to it, why not take advantage of it?
Right.
Mm.
But so many of us say, no, I'm not going to do that. It's going to take somebody in that family to say, I'm going to start it for my family, and that this generational wealth is going to start with me. I don't care what they did before me. I can't control that. I'm where I am now, and I'm going to be the one to set my family up. Because as Mr. Jones stated, it's not if I'm going to die,
Yes, sir.
it's when. Everybody who has it says came
It's
through
fit
the
for
you,
yes, sir. Fit for what?
everybody
For
that
every
has
man
any
wants to
birth,
die. Yes, sir.
there's a time and a season for
Yes, sir.
everything. It's
Yes.
gonna happen. So why not set my family up? Because I love my family, right?
Yes.
If you love your family, you care for them. Why not set them up in a way that they can be that they can flourish? I'll say even after you're gone. But
Right.
then, so the now back to the mindset. People say, well, I'm not going to set them up and then I don't have nothing. Well, Mr. Jones just explained you can have something as well.
Right.
Yes.
So the way
Right.
the way it can be set up, I can have something to build the cash value that I can use tax free whenever I want to, and have a death benefit for my family when I'm gone. It's
Right.
a double win. So I have access to it. Why not take advantage of it? So
Right.
it's going to take a mindset change from somebody in that family is going to have to, whatever you say, make the sacrifice, I'll
Right.
say, that I'm going to start this. And from now, because think about it, somebody in the Buffett family had to start it.
Right.
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 Somebody in the JC Penney had to start it. Somebody did had to start it. But look at them now.
Yes, sir.
So now if we say, I'm going to be that one to start it, years later, it'll be set. Your family will be set, completely set financially and mindset wise, because now you see what daddy did, what mommy did. Oh, I can do that too. But look what they started though, from what daddy and mommy did. They started here. So now what they're building off our shoulders.
Right.
If everybody keeps building off each other's shoulders,
Right.
it has no choice but to go up.
It's time out for having to selling dinner plates and fish fries and all this other stuff just to bury somebody. It's
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
It,
Yeah.
if I may interject, man,
Yes, sir.
it, it's such a I'm so torn when I see that, because on the one hand, I love the way the community comes together and rallies for that family. I love that.
Right.
Right.
But wouldn't it be so much nicer if they didn't have to do that?
Yes, sir.
Because the key is they have to do that. If that community doesn't rally, then the body's just sitting there, because the funeral home ain't going, they're not gonna
Right.
move
Yeah.
until they have dinner. You
Yeah.
know
Right.
what I'm
They got to
saying?
get
Right.
their money. Yes, sir.
Right.
So that has to happen. Is it good? Of course, the community comes together. But what if they didn't have to do that? And
Yes.
you already had took the initiative and set up something so that as you're sleeping, hopefully with Jesus, that your family is set up and straight.
Right.
And they don't have to go sell fish dinners. And they don't have to set up a GoFundMe. They can say, oh, thank you, daddy. Thank you, mama. You set that up for me. Boom. I got what I need. Here's an awesome service and an awesome burial. And oh, look at this. Look at how much I have left for me to start my life.
Right.
And up before I start, let me get some policies for my children. That's where it starts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cause I want to say that the biggest takeaway, for me would be like if we really paid attention to all the areas, the number all the areas where us, or I don't know about y'all, but me, us, my community, as marginalized people, if we paid attention to all the areas where we are unequal, the most important is economically. And this could be that stepping stone, like you were saying, brother Donnell. This could be that stepping stone that your family needs to kind of even the playing field. I think that sometimes people see that as such a spit in the ocean, or a drop in the bucket, when in actuality, if you can start off with your family being taken care of, your family can start off by taking care of the community can then start off by taking care of the city, and it'll
Mm,
spread out. So socioeconomically, we could kind of have a chance.
Right. Right.
despise not the days of small beginnings. It has
Right.
to start somewhere.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
I wondered if I could, real quickly, in completing on the example of the whole life and explanation. I'm hoping that I gave a good enough understanding of it, but I think it's so imperative, important to align it with Deuteronomy 28:12. You should become the lender and not the borrower. So I want to give you an example. Whereas you borrow from a bank to buy your car, right? You
Right.
finance the car for 40,000. They give you a certain interest rate, 3-4%, given you have good credit.
If they
If
let you borrow, that's correct.
they let
Right.
you borrow.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you pay back, you borrowed 40,000. How much you likely paying back?
About 60.
About 60, right? What happens to that 60? Who has it?
The bank.
Right.
The bank. And how much is your car now worth in those 5 years?
About 20. If that.
If that
Depending on how you drive and take care of it.
was
There you go.
16, 15.
15 or 10 or even 5, depending on
Yeah.
what car you make. Okay. Now, if you accumulated the cash in your whole life policy, you borrow from your policy and buy the car straight out cash, and you pay your policy back. Where does the money end up when you pay the policy back? In whose pocket?
You're fine.
Yours.
Now, is that what God instructed us to do? And so now, when you borrowed 40 and you got 60,000 back in your pocket when you paid it back, because there was some interest and some growth
Right.
in there as
Right.
well, and you getting interest and dividends, interest around 3%, dividends 6%. Won't you come out more further ahead? Plus, your whole life insurance was worth, say, 120,000, but when you paid it back, now it's worth 150,000. So the death benefit increased, the cash
Correct.
value increased, the interest increase, the dividends, and you owned your car day one, it was an asset from the beginning. It was not a liability. So
Wow.
you had the notes and the receipt, and you can do it over and over and over again. So God, that's the way you become the lender. And DJ, listen, so in the future, when you're ready to invest in the market, you're never going to sacrifice the permanent on the altars of the temporary. You're going to pull money out the policy,
Right.
put it in the market, but you're going to put it back so you always have. I'm done speaking.
No, you ain't done because I got some more questions for you now.
I
Now
love
we
when he
talk.
dropped the mic like that. He went on one.
Yeah, sex with chocolate, sex with
Yeah, yeah,
chocolate.
Hey, he made him
Hey,
that on the borrower for
hey,
myself now.
I'm the three in I'm the three in the crowd. Yeah, that boy good. That boy good. That boy good. But no, seriously though, you speak about the dividends and the thing about it. The thing I keep hearing is tax free. Tax free. How is this able to be tax free? Could you break that down for us?
Sure. Donnell, you want to tackle that? You want me?
I'll let you get this one.
You'll let me thank you. You're so honorable, man. I love you. Um, when you purchase a life insurance policy, because you pay for it with your net income, that means that's money that's already been taxed. Then the
Yes.
money going in there is already been taxed. So the money you can pull out is tax free because you've already paid the taxes. Now, however, I'm gonna be clear with you too. Because the policy is a participating policy, and there are non-participating whole life and participating, you need to know the difference. The participating ones, which we generally are not sold and do not buy, those are the ones the company shares its profit as a return of premium in the form of dividends and give you more money on top of the interest in the policy. Um, when that money exceeds how much you have put in there that you paid the taxes on, if you totally cancel the policy and say, give me all that money in there, and you put in 50,000, but it's 150,000 in cash in there, then that 100,000, now I think let's say you put in 100,000, but you got 150,000 in cash in the policy. The 50,000 would be taxed
Right.
because that's the growth on the dividends in the policy. But that 100 you put in there is tax free, and it's FIFO, first in, first out.
Right.
So first went in there is non-tax money that's already been taxed, um, non-qualified money, which simply means money that's already been taxed. Then that's the first that comes out. However, if you know how to use the tool, which whole life is an instrument and a tool, you can never pay taxes because if you borrow it out and pay it
Right.
back, it counts as it's still there, and so you never pay taxes on it. Now you can do cash withdrawals from it and never pay that back either. So you buy that car and you say, "Well, I ain't gonna pay the car back. Pay my policy self back." Why would you do that? You always should own a bank anyway.
Right.
So you pay yourself back. So you always have that tool to leverage it to invest in the market, buy other properties and stuff, but you always put it back in your bank and it remains tax free. And the death benefit is also always tax free. So you leave a legacy to your family at any time because nobody ain't planning to leave here the day of tomorrow. But if
Right.
we do, we want peace of mind for the queen or for the king. Wait a minute, because I know
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
typically think like, well, I'm the man, I might go first. But no, if the sister go, brother want to be what? Drink.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's just
Also,
me.
yes, sir. Also, when it comes to whole life, at what point would you recommend someone gets into whole life?
Very good question. Tell them, Donnell.
As soon as possible. Yesterday.
14 days after they born.
Ah,
That's when you're
Right.
able to.
And
so
why I say that, Mr. Peacock, is because you can buy a participating whole life on your child 14 days after they're born, pay $200 to $300 in it for 20 years, no more payments
No more
the rest of your life, and there are never payments. Let me correct that. No more investments,
investment
no more
savings.
saving because you're
Mhm.
done. and by the time they get 65, they'll have $250,000 and a
That's a
half
compound
in
interest.
cash accumulation, and they'll have a half a million in death benefit.
Definitely.
So
So if
how? Go ahead.
So if you wanted to leave them a half a million by the time they 65, put $500 in their month for 20 years, leave it alone, let it cook and bake with interest and dividends, and around 65 they'll have a half of $1 million and probably $1 million in death benefit. And that's when the Bible said the wise man leaves a inheritance to his children. The cash in the policy is the inheritance, and the death benefit is to his children's children. That's
Okay.
how we do it. Did you
Okay.
catch that?
I got you. So with the say say whoever you got the policy through that their business is no longer existing, what happens to the policy?
Say that again.
All right. Say I someone buys a policy through a company, right?
Hmm.
That company dissolves. What happens to
Hmm.
that policy?
Well, typically there are several things that happen, and really the beauty of that. That's a very good question. I'm glad you asked that. I feel like Donnell paid you to ask that.
I wish he did. You can slide me. Hold on. If you're looking for the cash app, it
Uh,
is dollar sign intellect 1. If you would like to donate. Yes,
Typically,
sir.
life insurance are either bought, but the policies they have what they call a cash reserve. They're required to have to make sure they're able to pay every policy. So when they bought the other company and take it over, they just transfer that cash over with that. So that you have the safety and security. So generally, you got some policies that used to be out there like Independent Life, Gulf Life, Atlanta Life, or whatever, and now American General or AIG owns them. Okay, so these other companies, but the policies are still good. So life insurance, typically, unless people stop paying for them, they're legit and they stay on the books, or they're going to be there guaranteed.
Ah, okay. That's good. That's good to know.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's good
even
to know.
that, what Mr. Jones just said, like he said, if they keep paying them, that's a
Right.
mindset thing. I have to understand that
Right.
it's an accumulation and saving. So I must keep paying this. But like you said, if you the particular example he's using, it's only 20 years,
Right.
Or
Now,
and there
even
are options. Hmm.
or even in some of the whole life, you can allow that the dividends get so great in them that the dividends are enough to take over the payment, so you never lose the policy.
And you don't have to
So
pay
it's
it
a
because the
bank,
dividends are paying for you.
right? So it's a bank. It's a savings and accumulation. It's tax free. Um, it makes you the lender, not the borrower. It has a death benefit. What else does that? And there's no risk of loss. What else does that? And pays a higher interest in dividends than your own bank will give you. What else does that?
Correct.
DJ, are you peeping game, man? Go
Man,
ahead.
nobody has broke this. Listen, nobody has broke this thing down to me just as simple and as plain as y'all have, man. I gotta kid. I gotta stay in touch
Y'all know
with.
y'all got some business. They know they know they
Yeah,
got some
yeah,
business
yeah.
coming.
I'm telling
They
you.
know they got it coming, man.
As a matter of fact, next week I'm gonna purchase because I already have a term life. Half a mil, for me, and I got my wife and my kids all. But I'm gonna do a whole life because I do have some business plans in the future, and I'm gonna definitely need to have that facet, to be able to take out and put back into.
Right, right. Now, when you said about the child, 20 years, you pay for it up to 20 years. Are they able to take the reserves and fund their college education with these things?
Yes, so it is a better alternative than a 529. That's a very good question, Brother Joshua. We are told to do 529 plans, which they put in the market and invest. And when your child gets ready to go to college, they can go to college and prepaid.
Mhm.
However, they must go to college. Somebody must go to college to get advantage of that. Well, every child ain't college material. And
Right,
it doesn't mean they're not going to be successful in life and great. It's just not their thing. Let them be what God ordained them to be.
right, right.
So it would be smarter and best practice where you can save the same money without risk of loss, having a death benefit that they can use that money when they come out of high school or come out of college to start their own business practice rather than go get a job. If they can't go they can't even find a job as it was in some years there were people coming out of college couldn't find a job. You just got educated, bro. Take what you learn and start your own practice and build your own business. Well, I don't have money to do that. Yeah, right. But you have
Yes, you do.
parents like Mr. Nunn who say, I set mine up from the beginning because I understood there was a seed time and there was a harvest. And
That's
harvest
right.
always come if you always plant the seed.
Right.
Always.
Hello,
Right.
breaker,
Yes.
breaker. So we
Always.
start planting this seed and break the back of your poverty, like and insufficiency off of our family for generations, because we're doing what the wealthy 1% have been doing for years upon years.
Right.
Years.
Wow.
Man,
Years.
This is just
man, this thing powerful.
this
It
is
really is.
this. I'm starting to understand and feel the sentiments that you have for the community when you come to them with these solutions and they have no idea about it, and then when you present it to them, that they still don't get it. It's like I feel cheated.
Mhm.
You know, and I have a very I have a little bit of knowledge about the insurance, life insurance. I have a little bit, but with all the solutions that you guys are bringing, I feel just straight out cheated.
Right.
I feel robbed. Because
Bamboozled, hoodwinked.
yeah,
Mhm.
led astray. You
That's
know,
straight.
we people thought they ran on us. You know, it's because the money that I have spent, you know, um, through the years of my adulthood, you know, how much farther I could be, how much better off my family could be, had I just known, had I just known, because I think I'm a sensible person. If you come and bring me something that will benefit me, I'm going to, as we was talking about investments, the best investment that you can give is in yourself, you know.
That's right.
And I'm that, this is what Degreez of Separation is about: investing in ourselves. This isn't something that some corporate. We're not tied to any corporation. God gave us this, and we invested what God given us into ourselves, and we're trying to bring not just ourselves, but invest in the community, as DJ was saying. First we got to help ourselves, and then we got to help the community. So we're trying to
That's
help the
right.
community by helping ourselves. We don't want this information just for ourselves. We want this
Mhm.
information to provide it for the community that has never had it, because I know if I feel cheated, there are other people like me that will feel cheated as well.
Well, I
Right.
want to throw something at you, a gem at you, okay? I'm about the numbers, about the math, because the only thing next to God that's true is math,
Yes.
right?
Right.
When it's
Right.
right. It is what it is. So I'm gonna throw this at you. You and DJ help me out, Elder Joshua.
Yes, sir.
Here's a virtual calculator. How much do you expect when we talk about investing? There's negative investment where there's no return on investment that we're all doing unconscionably. Okay.
Every day.
So give me a number. What do you say the average brother who got a family? What are you spending eating out a month? How much?
Ooh, a good $400 to $500.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
Lord,
Yeah,
do
I
you
got,
have
I
probably
got, I have
normal.
5 children.
Right.
what
I
you
got
say,
5 children.
DJ?
I would definitely say that it's going to be about at least 400 a month. I
So
could easily
400.
see I could easily
Right.
see 100 a week being plausible.
Mhm.
Okay, 400. God bless you. I'm running a virtual calculator. That's 400.
Mhm.
Um, let's say that you got a wife and daughters and whatever, hair, nails, pedicures, and manicures. And since our hair, we shave our head, but DJ, you still got the locks of Solomon. So what is the hair, pedicure, manicures investment a month for the fam?
Um, on average a month.
It gets
Uh,
nothing. Zero. No.
nah, I mean, because mine is taken care of by my wife, but hers has to get done by somebody, and it's costly.
Yeah.
Um, it'll probably be about for 2 weeks. We'll say about the same. You know
Another
what?
400.
My son, hers is 150 each. It's three. She got her nails done twice. You probably say about 450.
$450. I'm adding that to that total.
Mhm.
Are you
But
still there, Elder Josh?
I'm here. It's my I have to change my battery. I'm still here.
Okay. All right. What about cell phones in the house? Cable TV, Wi-Fi, internet in the bundle. What is that a month?
come on.
That's about 80. That's about $80. Just for
80.
all you need is internet nowadays.
Yeah, I know, but
We'll go
most
100.
people got more than one cell phone in the
Cell
house,
phone.
and they
Cell
still
phone as well. Oh, you
cell
looking at
phones,
another three hundred
all the
dollars?
cell phones, all the cable, internet, Wi-Fi in the bundle at home.
Another 350.
350. Adding that on there. All right. What about online shopping? Gadgets, whatchamacallit, thingamabob, doodads?
A month?
Yes, sir.
I don't think it's that much.
That's about another
It could
hundred
be,
dollars.
and it could include clothing, shoes, purses, dresses.
Maybe maybe. Yeah, I think 100 safe. 100.
100. Okay. And what about you, other Josh?
That's it, about $100.
I
Oh,
think
okay,
that's it.
we adding 100 to there. One more thing. What are we spending on traveling, entertainment, gas, and things of that nature?
Oh, gas is expensive.
Miscellaneous crazy.
Gas about $600 a month.
$600 a month.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's the miscellaneous gas, entertainment. Uh I say 5.
500. Okay, I'm gonna add that in. I'm gonna stop messing with y'all with those totals. There's a lot more. So right now, up to $1,800, you're
1800.
spending 1,800. You're spending a month times 12 months. And then I'm going to times that's 21,600 in a year times 10 years.
10 years.
That's $216,000 that you will be negatively
Negatively.
investing. And what will you have to show other than hips, butt, gut, and thighs in 10 years? What y'all laughing about?
Hips, guts, butt, and thighs.
Hips, butt,
Yeah.
gut, and thighs. So, and how much of all those things you invest in can you go to them and say, I got an emergency? Murphy's Law hit, the enemy came in like a flood, and I need 50 grand. Can I get something from all of these places I spent this money?
No.
So my question to people when we're talking about it, if you deserve the best or good, better, or best, wouldn't it make sense at least 40% of that money you're spending monthly, you budget out and accumulate cash in a whole life? And had you put that type of investment in the whole life, how much money you would have in just 10 years?
10
You'd never
years.
be broke. And if you put it in whole life with dividends and interest, you'll be able to pay cash for your house. But the system has trained us to get in debt and get a loan and finance a house and pay all these dollars when all we had to do is sacrifice, like the Lord said, with much sacrifice he's well pleased, and accumulate the cash and then buy the house outright and stay out of debt. But we
Right.
haven't renewed our what? Mind.
Mind.
And we have the resources to do it, but we have been shown the way. We're not looking at the math, and it's hard to get ourselves out of that habit because the baby just need that new iPhone just coming out. And we're talking about we want to invest in the market. You don't own the privilege to invest in the market until you got your foundation straight, where you got cash accumulated that you never risk losing, like Buffett.
When I used to have a really bad gambling addiction. All right.
Wow.
And I wouldn't gamble on chance, even though I wouldn't call it gambling. I had a poker addiction, and the reason I played poker is because I had somewhat control of what I spend and what I can control the outcome more so than just chance. Because there's a lot that goes into poker if you know how to play poker.
Whole lot.
There's strategy, there's tails, there's a lot that goes into it. So I would play. I had not a gambling addiction. I had a poker addiction, And the reason I play poker is because, like I said, I can control the outcome. And when you break it down, how you just broke it down, when we go into the market without that foundation, we're just simply gambling. And
Gambling.
and the reason I like poker is because of somewhat of an surety there, and that's what I would compare, insurance to the market. There's insurance is blessed assurance, Jesus is mine.
Blessed.
Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine. You
Glory
know what I mean?
divine.
So it's blessed assurance that we have in these things these solutions that you're providing. And it's not, that's why I kind of, I have 401k, and I understand that you can pull things out and pay yourself back, but at the same time, you can also lose that 401k. And it just makes sense to have that assurity, to have that, how you break it down. I could tell you that you've been doing it and you've been providing solutions for a while because,
Let me hit you with a brick.
Yes, sir.
Can I hit you with a brick?
Come on.
All right, the 401k. Who owns it?
You got it.
Who owns the 401k?
The
Do
company.
you know? No.
Oh, no. The whoever you run it through. Whoever you run it through.
No.
The market. The market.
The government.
No.
I do.
The government.
The government. Yeah.
The government owns 401ks,
Yeah.
403bs, and 457. How do you know? Who gets the first 30% when you retire out the money?
Government.
And if you take it out
early,
You
take
tax
it
penalty.
Who penalized you an additional 10%?
The government.
Wow.
And who says if you don't pay it back before at age 59 and a half, you get that penalty?
Yes.
The one who owns it, right?
Yes.
So why, let me ask you this here. This is a business, you're a businessman, right?
Yes, sir.
Why does it make sense? Would you do this with me? You're going to put 100% of the investment in for us. I'm not going to invest nothing. I'm going to control and tell you to set the rules around it. And when you make profit in it, in the end, you're ready to take it. I never contributed anything. I control the rules. But when you're ready to take it out, I'm first in line before you get a dime. I get my 30%. Would you do that?
No.
Come on, I didn't hear you.
No, sir.
No.
Okay, but you're doing that if you got a 401k.
But I'm doing it.
Yes. Had you been putting it in whole life, you wouldn't be giving up the government. You already gave the government. You gave the government their portion on the seed rather than the harvest. Which is best to pay the taxes on the seed or pay it on the harvest? Hold on.
Yeah, on the harvest.
We're gonna park the truck on the side.
Okay.
And Jim Ryan gonna go.
Thank you. So we're conditioned because they told us to do this. We're paying the taxes on the harvest rather than the seed, and the government saying, "I love you because I want to buy platinum bullets, right? I could get by with lead bullets, but I want to pay for platinum bullets because I own the company that makes platinum bullets at your expense."
Right.
So you trained to think that that's a secure way to have your retirement when the wealthy 1% say we put it in the books that you didn't read, that we put it in whole life so we didn't have to pay the taxes and gave the government their money on the seed. Hello? That's the brick. Did it hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You stepping all on my toes, man. I know you're a preacher because you stepping on my toes, man.
Y'all remember that the old nursery rhyme? What was the old hen, and she say, "Who gonna help me plant the wheat?
Oh yeah,
help me water the wheat. Who gonna help me, bake it and all this?" But when it's time to eat,
everybody want to help me eat.
The fox and the dog and all them that wouldn't help, that's the government. Soon as it's done, they want to come take their piece. So now what we have to do is be the hen and say, "No, this is my bread. I put in this work, and so I'm going to be the one that enjoys it. I'm not going to give you first dibs, and you didn't even help me do none of this. So no, this is my bread. Me and my children. Remember, she gave it to her and her ducks.
Right.
Me and my children is going to eat this bread. government, you stay over there, and it's gonna be tax free for me and my children, and my
Man,
children's, and my children's, and my children's children. That's the concept.
man. This right here, man. We drop every Wednesday. Man, I'm about to. No, I'm finna go back. What I was. I'm finna.
Finna.
I'm finna go
I'm
talk to that.
fit.
My wife, she finna get an earful as soon as we close out of this meeting. I'm gonna tell everybody at the job I go to. I'm finna
Right,
tell all my family. I mean, I have to spread.
right.
I can't wait till Saturday. Excuse me. I can't wait till Wednesday. I can't wait till Monday when we cut the clips up, and I have to get the word out immediately so that someone can start preparing their life to provide generational wealth.
Yes,
Because we have been given bits and pieces, but this isn't even the whole of the matter. This is
Mhm.
just the introductory. And when we was on a call earlier, said, he said, Mr. Jones said, Mr. Peacock, we'd like to come back multiple times because I don't think I would be justifiable. And I said, yes, sir, we most definitely, because there's more to it than just life insurance.
Yes.
But, I believe we have a lot to chew on with this episode.
yes.
We appreciate you, fellas. Um, we'll give you both another word. Let us know on your social media. Another word if you would like to have a final word. And yeah, yeah.
I I'll say, and I'll let Mr. Jones close it out. I I just again appreciate you all giving us the invite, and just like you saying how you gonna tell everybody. That's all we're doing. We're just trying to tell everybody about this awesome, uh, I want to say product tool, this awesome tool that has been sitting right here under our nose for years.
Right.
And we just, some people didn't know, and some people know and didn't choose to just look under their nose. But the more as we are have access to these tools, we can't say I didn't know it was there. So now it's going to take a conscious effort and a conscious mindset for me to change and shift so that myself and my family can be set up for generations. So
Yes, sir.
we appreciate you welcoming us on your platform.
Yes, sir. Go ahead for all our listeners. Let them know your number and where they can find you.
Yes, my name Donnell Nunn, and my phone number is 352-286-7059. You can reach me through email at donnell.nunn@insurefinancialgroup.com.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir. The
Yes.
guru.
I want I want to thank Donnell for the privilege to be working with such an awesome guy. I want to thank you, Mr. Elder Joshua and Peacock and Daryl, DJ Sales, for the opportunity to come on and spit the game with you guys about this opportunity. Our our objective is to bring the edification to our community, bring our community up to speed, to help the brothers get into a new frame of mind. God tells us we need to renew our mind. I'm a king, you're a king, we are kings, but we need to think like kings, right?
That's right.
And so we need to bring this literacy back to our community and let people see how to create perpetuitous wealth. God said to Joseph, I sent you for the posterity of the people to teach them that there are lean years and good years, but you're going to store up for the good. So when the lean come, you still have, you always
Still
have.
good.
And
Amen.
that's what we're trying to show here with the whole life. You can always have. And so we want to break it down ABC 1, 2, 3, make it as simple as plain to get our people on the right track. So excited for the opportunity to come back as many times to break it down. It's too much to kind of digest in a moment. You can reach me at insurefinancialgroup.com, which is our website. And we spell insure with the letter E, insurefinancialgroup.com. Then also you can set an appointment with me right away, or Donnell. You can go to calendly.com /insure financial group. calendly.com/Intra Financial Group. What we will do is schedule an appointment to educate you first,
Mhm.
evaluate the type of policies you currently have, show you what we just was throwing out here tonight, how you can participate and leverage your money in the future. You can do that. You can call us at our office, 863-225-5650. Set an appointment that way as well, 863-225. We are also a farmers insurance agency
Mhm.
that we do home and auto, life, annuities, 401k rollovers. We do just a plethora of things that holistically you'll never lose a dime of your money. We think the banks want you to protect your house and your car, and you should, okay? But we think the number one thing you should start protecting better is your life and your money. Because
That's
sister
right.
don't need to be at a casket saying he was a good man, but he left me with no
Yeah.
home and 4 children and mouths not I can't feed. So, brothers, we're going to do a better job and come up and take ownership of what God says to create an inheritance for our children and our children's children and a legacy that while we're living, you're able to benefit. So, I thank again for this platform, and I look forward to doing many as you all want to do.
Yes,
Amen.
sir. Yes, sir. DJ.
Yes, I just want to thank both of y'all for coming, and I'm definitely looking forward to a part two. I thank the Lord for using the both of you guys, man, and in the spirit of excellence, and him just giving you the wisdom, hey, look, it's gonna be a lot to digest, so we're gonna have to break it up into 2 episodes or a couple, or however many is needed. But everyone can find me on Facebook at Daryl Sales. It's DarylSales. You can find me on Instagram, Daryl DJ Sales. Right there, it's spelled. It's it's
You
spelled
got it.
exactly how it reads right there. And yeah. Once again, I just want to thank the both of you fellas for coming on, man. We appreciate it, and I thank you for dropping gems.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, again, you can find us on all platforms, man. No matter where you look, at Degreez of Separation, Degreez, Degreez with a Z. Separation is one of the most misspelled words out there. Separation. Separation, degreeseparation.com, degreeseparation at gmail.com for our email. Degree Separation on Instagram, on all streaming platforms, man. If we let's do a fair exchange. If you've gotten some information, give us a rating, give us a like on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your stream your music, stream your podcast, man. Just find us at Degree Separation on everything. Again, we may be 1 or 2 degrees separated from each other, but when it comes to God, there should be 0 degrees of separation, and we out.
Degrees of separation, connecting to the source.